multiple Baron steals against him and getting picked off. If I was Blaber, I would gonna go match Umti and I would want to fight him. So we're already into the draft and we'll do some catch up here, but they are putting Umti back on the Skarner. The infamous Skarner drive Nico into the rest of the team. We'll see about it this time around, though. These are some very, very comfortable champions for them. The Taliyah was one of APA's most played champions last year when the team found its most success, so definitely liking it. But the Kalista as well for Zven, we were talking about it in the hands of TL as a winning bottom lane, but if you go back to OG Niels, his original name there for Zven, Kalista was one of their biggest picks, along with Mithy. And
Kalista has mostly been getting, Shane banned. So to see it actually go through, they banned out the Draven, the Cassante, and the Varus over on the TL side. They banned out the Renata, the Yeon, as well as that Zyra. You mentioned all the success last year with the Taliyah, but also last weekend. APA really put on a show on the Taliyah. Even to me, I think back to that highlight of buffering the Weaver's wall out when the Vial came, dragging him back to safety, turning that into a kill. It definitely has been one of his best champions, and it's going to be Corki added in for Yeon.
And we got to look at the top lane matchup here because they were able to pick up this Ambessa, which can be flexed mid, but you assume would go into the hands of Thanatos.
Oh, yeah.
Thanatos has just dominated so many lane phases, and if you're on the side of TL and Impact, I want to get Impact on something that can versus Ambessa, you want to win early, but then if you're Impact, you kind of want to be more frontline tankiness for the rest of the team. So it puts their coach and their draft here in a bit of a choice to make. Do you want to pick something that is more aggressive into Ambessa early and try and win early to keep her from scaling? Or do you just say, you know what, I'm going to pick for the team?
I think you pick for the team because when I think of Thanatos, I think of someone who is a laning specialist. This guy is a monster in the 1v1. He really pushes advantages. And I think Impact has been struggling a little bit on some of those aggressive carries. The carries that I like him playing that he's done really well on are things like Rumble, but because you already have an AP mid laner, I think it would be pretty AP heavy to have a tank jungler and 2 AP soul laners. Might make it a little bit too easy to deal with, so I wouldn't expect them to go that direction, and it looks like C9 is not expecting it either with the Poppy ban coming through.
Yeah, the Poppy ban, I feel like that one was a no-brainer. You have Kalista on your team and Ambessa on your team already.
Yep.
That's some of the most dashes you can have.
The pig dashes too.
Yeah, exactly. Pig's got a nice long cooldown dash to keep up with the new champs. But Poppy ban, yeah, I think that was a no-brainer. Really good there to cover. And it looks like they're not worried about anything else. Renekton has been something Thanatos himself used into the Ambessa to try and destroy the Ambessa early, keep them off of some of the power spikes. But of course, because TL are red side here, they can save that for Impact, and they'll save it until the Ambessa is fully revealed, whether you are flexing it or not.
Oh, okay, I like this a lot more. We're actually speaking on the dive about this. This is one of the carries I really liked from Impact. He's always been an excellent GP. He's great at surviving pressure, at farming up, and I think because he can help the team with the Cannon Barrage, he doesn't feel that pressure to group as much, so it allows him to stay in those side lanes, focus on farm, get to a strong point where he can really be a dominant force in the game.
All right, let's reveal the rest of it. What is Vulcan? Ooh, they insta-lock here, so it is pretty spicy. I mean, he's going to be very active on the Pantheon. You can create a lot of action, but you can see the immediate hover answers there to try and shut him down in lane at least.
I mean, C9 came into this draft very prepared. They went through these picks so fast. The only pick they even sat on for a couple seconds felt like the Ambessa. Everything else was just boom, 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 boom. So they clearly knew what they wanted this time around, and Core just deciding, where do I want to go? What is going to be the lock-in here? And it will be the Nautilus as the answer to be able to lock down champions like the Kalista, like the Azir. Corki Nautilus, though, definitely in danger against the Kalista and the Pantheon early on.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you're kind of worried sometimes about enemy team like ganging up and like diving your Gangplank and worried about some lane swap stuff there. But like your bottom lane also, like you mentioned in the 2v2, if you have to play into Kalista Pantheon, Zven was the one talking about the TL early lane phase strength and them looking to dominate lanes, but it looks like in game number 1 they are throwing down the gauntlet and they are very happy to take these powerful laning picks.
Absolutely. It's going to be exciting to see if they can pilot those to a victory, or if TL against, I don't want to say all odds, but against some of the predictions
against
lately.
Some of the odds.
Against a couple odds. Against a smattering of odds.
Yeah. Against maybe some jungle odds.
Exactly.
That's a lot of people are going that way.
But, Umti, I think he just needs to get a couple of good games under his belt, you know, start building that confidence up. To me, it's such a mental game, League of Legends, where you have to stay ultra focused for such a long period of time, and the games can boil down to 1 or 2 big plays or mistakes. And you want to see Umti coming out on top in some of those big plays, rebuilding that confidence, and being able to move forward in the series strong.
And like they're both on tank junglers here, so it's not like he's going to have to be in some epic duels with Blaber very early on, where you know there's possibilities of getting huge outplays there. So should be able to play for the team pretty effortlessly.
Big question is going to be, are there lane swaps? I definitely don't think that TL is going to want standard lanes. Ambessa, he would love to starve. He'd also love to probably dodge this Kalista as well as Pantheon. Question is going to be, can they actually avoid those lanes, and how will the level 1 go? We're going to be kicking this off shortly for game number 1, our second series of the day, the second semifinals here down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, between TL as well as C9. They are going to be battling it out for the opportunity to take on 100 Thieves that looked incredible earlier today and is waiting in that best of 5 Fearless Finals that I cannot wait for tomorrow. I think it is going to be so much fun to finally get to see one of those best of 5s here in the LTA.
Just an aside, I was walking up here along with Sniper when he was coming up for the interview.
Yeah.
He is so excited. It was adorable, like, watching this. He is so pumped. He was like jumping up and down. He was like, let's go, we did. Like, he definitely, like he said in the interview, you know, he has had a block with Whippo specifically. So yeah, I mean, that first series was amazing, super exciting. The second and third games, if you did miss them, you know, you can like rewind on YouTube real quick, take a gander at those while we're in our little pause here or something. But those were some really epic games that went quite late to a lot of very late game objectives there, and come out with some hype wins for 400 Thieves. I think Quid especially is looking like a monster going into finals.
Looking really, really strong. So just to update you, C9 did pause for a potential audio issue. It looks like the refs were helping out over there, so trying to get any sort of issues sorted. And hopefully there won't be any real problems, maybe just some last-minute level adjustments there, you know, fixing the volume for some teammates.
Yeah, can I adjust my champion level, start at level 5 or something?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could try, you could ask.
That sounds like a good, I'll pause for that.
Yeah, okay.
Head into nice semifinals, just get a little boost here, no problem. Yeah, definitely will be an interesting one here. The Gangplank though, because you mentioned like the lane swaps, I'm always quite worried about it, because like Gangplank, you want to get a lot of last hits to generate extra money also, and he's definitely prone to getting dove sometimes. So we'll see how they play it, how they can play around a dive, how safe he can be. Of course, the just eat an orange and live is always a strategy.
Hey, it worked out for Bertle against them. He actually got first blood in a dive with that W start.
Yeah, use your flash and use a nice W and
slap him with the auto.
There you
Trial
go.
by fire.
Yeah, I mean, the trial by fire actually makes Gangplank's level 1 like insanely good. So he currently did open up by walking down to the bottom lane.
Yeah, I wonder if this is kind of like a little bit of a mind game, because then they both based and now they're swapping back. So I do wonder if it is a bit of that prediction trying to get into your opponent's head. But this is going to be a key matchup, Umti versus Blaber. A lot of eyes on Umti. You know, definitely hasn't had his best game so far this split, and Blaber has been looking strong, you know, trying to kind of battle back to the top of the LTA as far as the junglers are concerned. This guy was looked at as the cream of the crop, the clear #1 for so long. Inspired came along, River came along, more people got into that conversation of who is the best of the best jungler.
I think Blaber is also one of the big reasons that Cloud9 are coming into this America's tournament format here with the fastest average game time. This team has been really good at snowballing. It's a lot due to his objective control and his ability to get the team behind him in a lot of these aggressive plays that they do go for. So here we go into the live gameplay, and we do get standard lanes.
Oopsie. A little bit of a mishap there on the triple barrel to start things off, but we're getting that calibrated. It's just level 1, no problem.
Those watermelons are fast.
They're shifty. You got to watch out for them. It is really important, though, you know, these early barrels, if you can actually win that barrel game, start getting chipped down, resetting the trial by fire passive can be very nice, but the barrels did miss, and Thanatos, as a result, is going to be able to get push.
We're still getting messages about how good Quid is. I like that.
I mean, should be. Quid was just insane.
Yep.
And APA does get push here, is going to be able to move in, spots Blaber. They had that ward over on Raptors. Of course, C9 are going to have push down in the bot side in that 2v2 as expected. And both junglers are going to have their paths pretty much well known here on either side. So I don't expect, you know, any real surprise ganks unless one of the lanes gets super bloody.
Yeah, and especially the bottom lane is going to be the lane that has to watch out for that. Cloud9, of course, with the Kalista Pantheon that we were talking about, they get the early push.
Yeah.
And it is a top-down clear for Umti, which is what I recommended on the dive every game, bar none, for Team Liquid. Always. Like, I don't even care what the draft is. Literally have him clear top down every day of the week. And here you see the time that Cloud9 actually invested to move up and get a little ward that does spy the Gromp. So they're aware of the top down clear that is coming their way, but easily able to keep up and utilize their pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Should just be a full 6-game clear. Both these junglers going to be able to grab their scuttles no problem, and then very likely look for a reset. We'll kind of have to see where the lanes do go from here. It is pushing lanes thus far in top and bot, for Cloud9. Well, APA did get the early push in mid and was able to grab himself a very quick tier, which is going to be feeling pretty nice. Able to stack that up very quickly as a result of that level 1 push he had.
Yeah, super nice for Taliyah to be able to have the safety of a Seraphs later on in the game. The extra shield allows for a lot of those more risky Taliyah plays where you can follow up on stuff. Bottom lane, we've seen a little bit of roaming there. Vulcan popped one of the plants towards mid, which was nice too, as APA gets his little shove chunk here, and the pushing wave onto Loki as well. Pretty nice stuff from him.
Yep, just kind of these slight advantages thus far. A couple CS in the lead for top, as well as bot for Cloud9. Just opening up a ever so small advantage here, a couple 100 gold, but looking pretty good thus far.
Really like those super deep wards through the entire red quadrant. Look at Team Liquid's focus on vision very early in this game. At the first couple minutes, you mentioned warding on the Raptors. That's super common, but they follow it up here 4.5 minutes for second respawns as well. Just ward Raptors red and Krugs, fully tracking Blaber to make sure that there will be no surprise plays from the Cloud9 jungler.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Blaber, especially if you do have these early powerful lanes, if he can get involved, the snowball can really get rolling. So name of the game for TL is definitely sit back, scale, try to play this controlled style, and that's exactly what they're going to want to do.
Yeah, they don't want any extra firepower helping out the Kalista Pantheon.
No.
It's dangerous enough already, so fully warding up that side of the map. And then just try and scale on up, collect some money. APA himself even making some of these early roams down there too, surfing down through the river.
Yeah, but you can see Impact was in a little bit of an awkward spot, but is going to be able to go back to base. Core just trying to help keep that push. Going to be probably a pretty good trade here from Zven as he does get the Ren through onto Yeon. Umti going to be looking mid, but nothing doing there, as wasn't any ability to set up that seismic shove, and Blaber's there to cover as well.
I do always like passing through mid when grubs are about to spawn, so you can try and help out, make sure you have your mid prio. Even if you're not going to get anything, clear out the vision, get your vision control leading over to the grubs. And Umti even sticks around here. APA's had push for most of this game with Taliyah, but he just wants to guarantee it and to make sure, as Blaber now should be able to steal one of these away, because one grub's really easy to take nice whenever you have smite. So Blaber just sneaks it, rushes through one, and actually can turn around here.
Oh, had to flash the public execution there as Thanatos was getting aggressive. Impact now just getting back to lane, but in comes the Azir. Loki going to be able to look for Umti. Umti trying to escape out through the top with some support here from Impact. Impact has to drop the cannon barrage, and APA chunking down Loki on the other side with the threaded volleys. These grubs are getting low. Umti going to be able to secure one. Now Impact trying to get involved here. Thanatos, though, just dashing forward onto Umti. APA trying to come in for the pincer play, but Umti's in a lot of trouble. They do get one, though, immediately onto Loki. It's just a trade, 1-for-1. Impact should be able to just walk it out towards top. APA looks, does he need to cover? Doesn't think he does, so we'll just go right back to mid. It's a pretty even trade overall. 1-for-1, 2 grubs for Cloud9, 1 for TL.
Yeah, Cloud9 were able to get back in and grab the second grub there. 1-for-1 on kills with Azir being able to get right back to lane afterwards. It was a little sketchy though, because Loki had to flash. So Loki really low health here, trying to follow up on their play and their focus on punishing the Skarner. Felt like the calls from Cloud9 were like, we can guarantee this kill on the flashless Skarner, but then Loki here also uses his flash and his ult for Azir, so that's gonna greatly diminish this mid lane presence for the next couple minutes there for Cloud9. Let's take a look bottom though, because Blaber's on the warpath.
Blaber coming in, nicely played there. Flash forward from Vulcan, locks down CoreJJ for an easy ulti from Blaber. That's a slam dunk and a kill grabbed by the Pantheon.
And those grubs do give a nice amount of experience. So getting the extra grub here, you know, Blaber also getting to his level 6 a little bit quicker. Umti was doing one more camp to try and get his level 6. Blaber immediately out onto the map. Ganks bottom side with that ultimate, and Umti trying to slip into the dragon to grab Ocean Drake instead.
And we have to talk about, how good this Cloud9 bot lane has been as well. Obviously, we talked a lot about Yeon and CoreJJ, but I do think one of the big pleasant surprises for C9 has been how quickly Zven and Vulcan have gelled, how good they have been looking. Zven versus Loud was an absolute monster, but Vulcan and him just seem to immediately have hit the ground running. They had that big boot camp we've talked a lot about. And it has really been kind of one of the pleasant surprises for this team. Like, they're looking like a top bot lane right out the gate.
Yeah, they were. Man, I remember that the first Loud game when they lane swapped away from Zven, and then Zven got like 3 turret plates uncontested early. He was so rich that he just started valking on...
The Corki game.
Yeah, valking on enemies, straight 1v1. That was definitely a fun one. But yeah, the reunion of Zven and Vulcan has been a successful one. This time around, Vulcan actually did get the last hit here for the kill. So getting this giant spells in early for the Pantheon, you do become very nice and tanky with that Heartsteel. See about the next sorts of plays that he is able to make, because Ambessa ultimate is available for Thanatos, and Sejuani ultimate will be available soon. That is just such a dream pairing, that CC combination. Obviously, Gangplank can get out of one of them with his W, so that's not the best target, but even roaming around, if you just look for Umti and try and use that combo onto the Skarner, who still does not have flash. I always think, especially in team games, if there is an opponent that has been targeted a lot recently in their previous games, it can be a mental advantage to continue to target that bot side.
CoreJJ gonna let the ulti rip, and they're just gonna Falcon on top of him. GP ulti over the top, not even needed, but it'll help him get Vulcan too. He's got no flash, no way out. It's 2 quick kills and the feats of warfare for TL. C9 pick the spicy early lane, bot lane, but it's their opponents that come out on top.
Good thing you showed that graphic a couple seconds ahead of time, Azael, because right now CoreJJ makes the call. They go immediately for the engage. Let's take a look at the replay. They're just walking on down. CoreJJ on vision, through right up to the brush, just nails him. Dead on, and even though you come through, like, really good timing on the ultimate there. And you mentioned in draft early on too, nice to have impact on Gangplank. It's always nice. When you...
What was that?
That was sick. He's hype.
This has got to be a thing. This has got to be like, now I need to know.
They must have done like some bet or whatever. He was like, hey, if we get a kill bot, we're going to do...
No way you're going to do this. He's like, I'll do it.
The coaching staff were clearly all in on it. There we go.
There we go.
Superhero Yeon, but here we go. Grub fight.
Yeah, grub fight going down. One going to be taken there by Umti. Nice hook there over on a Blaber. Blaber's low. Teleport's coming in now from APA. AP going to try to join up as Yeon has got to get out of there. In comes the public execution, but he is very low and he's going to be thrown into the seismic shove. Loki goes forward, but a great sidestep from Yeon keeps him out of that, but it's still a shutdown regardless. Umti now being focused here by Zven. Zven trying to get involved. Umti going to flash in. They take down Loki, but it's still Zven, Vulcan, and Thanatos involved here, but they can't really get past APA. It's an all-out skirmish, incredibly low health bars. APA going to go back in with the Weaver's Wall. He's looking for Zven. Zven flashes out to safety, forcing the additional summoner there. As meanwhile, Blaber was able to clean up the last of the grubs. It's a real scrappy one, but Cloud9 do come out with 4 grubs, and they'll at least have the one Void might spawn.
Exactly. That is actually quite nice for them, going back in, getting the second one. Let's take another look at how it started out, as we were laughing at the celebration. So they got the first one here, and then they move up, get the hook onto Blaber, but it's countered by stunning up Yeon. So good stun there from Vulcan to stun out the TL DPS that was going to be the follow-up on that Umti Skarner ultimate. The follow through there, Loki says, I'm going to go for it, and even though Yeon's able to avoid that Azir ulti with the flash, he still just stands there and auto-attacks him, so goes down and is able to get the 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was, look at them. I think they're watching the replay of the reaction, to be honest, because they're pulling up a laptop. I guarantee you that's what it was. Yeah. That is hilarious. I need to know what is the genesis of this celebration.
We're going to have an interview mid-series to figure out what is that celebration.
Yeah. Oh, I actually just even got it confirmed that it was what they're watching. They're watching it back.
I'm glad that we got a replay of the next coach
of them watching a replay. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious, man. You gotta love that stuff. That is
okay. So
that's good vibes. that's a spawn diff right there.
That actually is. Vibes definitely can win you games. Just ask anyone who's played Flex Q. Let's get into it though. First item power spikes for pretty much everybody after those fights. A lot of even footing here as everybody gets their items.
I actually even just got the info. We're going to be adding that emote for any subscriber starting game 2 of this series. So that's going to be a new Twitch emote right there. We'll see what they call it. Core going to flash forward. He throws down the ulti onto Zven. Zven has no flash, but he's still going to be able to jump back to safety. APA trying to get some damage down on Blaber. Blaber going back in onto Umti. He's going to be pulled into the rest of the team, but here comes Thanatos, and here comes Loki. Loki sweeps CoreJJ to the side. CoreJJ getting incredibly low. Can he get reset? Zven gets stunned up as he tries to go over the wall, but APA is in a lot of trouble here trying to get back. Loki incredibly low, Impact incredibly low, Zven going forward, he's going to stand, he's going to fight, but he's going to lose this one. He is very low, he gets hooked in by Core, the barrier's not enough to take him. Does go down. Blaber and Zven fall. It's just Impact on the other side. Another incredibly close fight.
Oh my goodness. Thanatos must have lived with like 8 HP there, just barely walking out. But TL with some massive kills there, getting the advantage this time around. Let's see if they're quite done. APA looking for a cheeky little combo, but Loki not gonna walk up. Wow, what a back and forth when we keep having these scraps. Okay, as we get in, it started out, it was Blaber ulting first on the Sejuani, but then Umti ults him into the team, and Umti actually does a nice turnaround, driving Thanatos into the wall, but Thanatos escapes with his own ultimate to the other side.
29 HP I saw.
Actually crazy, and then they're so low health that Zven wants to walk up, and he can kill the Gangplank, but everybody else way too low to be able to participate. So Yeon is able to be the last one standing in that AD carry duel off, and we're right back to it.
We're right back to it, and Zven's in trouble. He's going to be stunned up on the rocks, and in comes Yeon with the Valkyrie. That's an easy kill. It's grabbed by Core. Umti slams Blaber into the wall, but Vulcan's going back in onto APA, and here comes Loki. Thanatos is behind him as well. APA incredibly low, and APA is shut down by Loki. Vulcan trying to kite up for Umti on the side, as Yeon's going to be battling against Thanatos, but that's not a fight AD carries usually win. Yeon, though, Vulcan forward, looking for him. The rocket gets sidestepped. He has the Eclipse proc. Can he take him? No! Yeon wins the fight. On the other side, it's a spear from Vulcan straight to the heart. The Comet Spear will get him. Impact wins his battle against the tower as well in top lane, but this one's a bloodbath, Kobe.
Impact said, I'm too old for this mess. I'm gonna go split push. I gotta get out of this Fiesta brawl. But he actually decides, never mind, I want to join. I actually like the look of that party.
To warm up those hips, he's jogging down on the mid lane. We'll see if Loki can get out. Barrel not gonna quite tag him. Blaber is able to secure the dragon just before APA gets in with the teleport. Can APA find him over the wall? Seismic shove forces the flash. They secure the dragon, but they at least get the summoner. In comes Vulcan. That was a bit of a spicy ult.
It's a party. Everybody wants their invite.
Yeah.
Vulcan shows up thinking there was going to be a pick, a little bit of a scrap there. In the end, Cloud9 did get the dragon, so we're even on dragons. Vulcan wants...
Oh, here comes the teleport now. Loki coming in. Public execution just barely misses from Thanatos. A hair's breadth away from catching him. Loki gonna go back in though, does sweep him into the wall, knocks him up. APA flashes out. Seismic shove not going to connect. Core is here to cover. He will get out to safety. I've got to say, one of the biggest winners of these last couple of minutes is the man who wasn't involved. It's Impact. Impact has opened up a 1.3k gold lead. While Thanatos has been grouping and grouping and grouping, Impact has just been fighting minions and pushing down the side lane, helping out with the cannon barrage, and he is getting paid.
Make use of that passive on Gangplank up there. Also, the tower going down for their Fairville, really helping out Team Liquid. And now, right back onto the next objective, onto the Rift Herald. They've got this one pretty much in the bag. Cloud9 are grouped a little bit, but without Thanatos teleport, I think they finally are going to leave him on the side lane and let the game calm down just a little bit.
Yeah, it can get tough for Thanatos. I mean, we can see Serpent's Fang going to be purchased up
quite nice
by Impact. Yeah, there's definitely some decent value there. You know, the shields, of course, you know, obviously the W we have on Thanatos. There's the E shield from the Azir. There's Barrier, Eclipse. You know, there's some decent stuff. Not crazy, but it is a very fast 2 items, and he's going to be having prio in that side lane, especially when you're in a melee versus melee matchup against GP and you fall behind. If you can't threaten the all-in, the laning phase just becomes you getting queued on cooldown and kind of just slowly getting whittled down, which can be very tough.
Yeah, certainly can. Meanwhile, on the Cloud9 side, Loki had been racking up a decent amount of gold on the Azir. We saw a lot of the fights him just kind of standing and auto-attacking. This Rift Herald, though, going to get this tower extremely low, if not completely finish it off here. Boom, Yeon gets the money.
Oh, and they're looking maybe for a potential move down towards bot side, trying to focus on Thanatos, keep him out of this one as much as they can. Here comes that Weaver's Wall. They're going to get involved. Yeon coming down, and the teleport is coming in from Impact. Vulcan trying to get out to safety. Blaber, nice sidestep on that seismic shove. He survived, but Umti's going to pull back Vulcan, and Vulcan has no way out. Thanatos used the public execution, but he tries to use it for a public exit, but Impact is chasing him down, and now Blaber going to be the focus. Likely should be able to walk this one out. He is quite tanky, but still, it's the 1 kill, and now it's going to be the pressure on the tower. Loki, though, trying to get something done on top side.
Yeah, Impact's having some immediate effect there. Does teleport down. Like you say, it means it will get traded, and the Azir is going to get more money for Cloud9. Already was one of the big rich members on C9, but TL kind of pushing the pace there. They set this trap around bottom side, and they wanted to use that APA Taliyah wall to lock in the roamers. In the end, though, still, because Loki's able to push on the top side, get the tower, and shove the wave in, we're very, very close to even.
Yeah.
It's just the 1,000 gold lead here for Team Liquid that they've been able to push up to.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's more than that lead in the favor of Impact. So, you know, the gold definitely only in their favor when he is around. I got to say, APA, his positioning has been very good. And the Unraveled Earth is very difficult for C9 to deal with. Everyone on their team can get stunned by it. So when TL kites back to these corridors and he just throws down that Unraveled Earth, it's so tough for them to actually engage and follow.
Certainly is. Impact over here playing a little defense through the Fog of War as well on the weak side.
This is going to get knocked up there briefly, but Blaber not going to play any games with it, not going to risk it, will smite it away. Thanatos, though, should be donated the local gold of this tower. That is nice for him. They know they need to keep him relevant. Ambessa is not a utility champion. You go in and you kill him or you die.
Yep, definitely true. And you saw the differences, like a little bit of distance will make. Like the Pantheon or the Sejuani are both good setups, but just being barely out of range. They couldn't combo it last time on their attempted pick on the side lane. So very, very close stuff here. But after that tower goes down and after the extra farm goes in, we're getting actually quite a lot of these 2-item power spikes. Yeon, especially here with his transformed Muramana. On the Corki in a very, very strong position. Zven here trying to just collect another wave so he can finish his second and catch back up. But Umti going for him.
Yeah, Umti going to look. Not going to be able to find the range for the ulti. Spots Thanatos and Vulcan and says, you know what, not worth the attempt. We're just going to back it off. Loki, again, playing towards those side lanes. While there is a big advantage for Impact, Loki, of course, has built one of his own. Does have 2 items fully completed, plus the boots. Is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the damage because Thanatos is behind, and Zven didn't get a ton out of the early game here on the Kalista, but Loki's in a great spot to be able to do some heavy lifting in these team fights. TL going to start up the Dragon.
All right, Thanatos, yeah, pushing on bottom side while the rest of Cloud9 come to threaten TL off, but TL, they're just going to burn.
There's a hook. There's a seismic shove as well, thrown down onto Blaber. Blaber gets chunked down to about half, but in comes the Pantheon ultimate right over the top. They're going to be looking for him, and in comes the teleport as well from Thanatos. APA in the back line is already gone. APA deleted. In goes Loki playing so aggressively. Impact in trouble. He's on the run in the public execution this time. Tags Yeon, and Yeon is going to be in a lot of trouble. He gets knocked down as Thanatos dashes out of the way of the Umti Skarner ulti. Is able to stay safe, win the fight, and likely get even more here as that mid lane tower is softened up already.
The timing on that fight for Cloud9 was so good, it actually caused TL to split their calls. They were thinking about pulling off the Dragon, but then it was so low, they turned around to finish it. And with 2 members finishing Dragon, they lose the fight on the backside. Take a look at it once again. Because Dragon's so low, Umti turns back around to finish it, but the Pantheon ult and Blaber just kind of cruises over over there. The side Q into ultimate, Blaber nails APA, and Vulcan's Pantheon jumping in allows them to chase forward. Then here's the sweet moves from Thanatos. He's able to get Yeon, and as you say, he dashes away from Umti's attempted peel there. Yeah, very clean from him this time around to be able to get that chase down kill. And get that big gold swing. You see now right back in the favor of Cloud9. However, TL did get the lasting Mountain Dragon resistance buff here for themselves, but I think they definitely would have had rather had the extra gold and kills that came from that. Hiding here in the brush. A couple of tanks here just trying to provide the extra safety for Yeon.
And how about Loki so far this game, man? He's been positioning so aggressively in these fights, always finding the opportunities to shift forward, to put pressure on the TL carries and shove them back. I've really loved how he's been playing. You know, he is kind of the odd man out in a very aggressive comp. Zven maybe in some trouble, does kite back towards that tower, gets behind it, so Cork couldn't find an angle on the hook. But Yeon flexing muscles, showing he is winning in this 1v1 already.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're highlighting Loki again there, because his side laning is very, very important for this team. See him push on bottom side. Now he's heading up.
They're going to hook in Blaber. Again, there's that seismic shove, and they're going to stun him into the wall and knock him down. This time, the extra members were there. 4 men from TL was what it took to take him down. Impact here, and they could look for more as Loki's Zven and Vulcan are pushing forward, but they have maybe gone too far. The ulti going to get ripped off onto Loki. Loki is pushed out of the fight, and Vulcan is isolated. Umti flashes forward and stuns him into the wall. There's the ulti as well. Knocks him down. It's a double for Yeon. The pings immediately come out onto Otacon. That time C9 went way too far with an extra man on the map for TL.
Yeah, they just lost Blaber. They just lost the Sejuani front line here, and they push up. They see APA as the shadows kind of reveal the Taliyah standing there. You know, at that moment, they're like, oopsies.
That's the killer in the window behind you.
Yeah, like, oh, wait a second. They actually didn't like sustain any damage while they picked off Blaber and killed Blaber, so that is going to be a Team Liquid Otacon. Impact here does have to invest his flash to live as Cloud9 tried to do the cross-map play. But that is well invested. TL now with the revival buffs.
Yep, gonna grab those Otacon GAs, set themselves up really well for these next fights. And because it is not an instant Otacon, it's a 24-minute, means it's gonna be on the table when Baron is on the map. So that is gonna be a big advantage for TL. Umti having a solid game so far as well, has completed his second item as the Unending Spare comes in. And you can see the items just stacking up more and more here for TL. Still a slight gold lead for C9, and Loki, I'm looking at that death cap as such a big spike for their whole squad.
100%. He is the key to their game at the moment. Highest level, both summoner spells available. Blaber here is able to avoid the hook this time around, but it's actually Team Liquid that have the push on the side lane too. Impact on the Gangplank, pushing out on bottom side. His ult is available here if they can collapse. He's halfway to level 16. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Impact over there. If they could just keep Impact getting another couple waves on bottom side and actually get him to level 16, that would be such a massive ult. But TL, they want to make a strong push in for Vision right now, and they do so. They do have a lot of really good pick potential with this composition. Skarner, Taliyah, and Nautilus here, a lot of opportunities, and so they're investing a lot of resources and time to get Vision to work with, but they have missed that one ward. Yeah. Nice little toggle here from the observers to highlight a very, very important safety ward. Scuttlecrab, though, will reveal it.
That one ward is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It is going to be spotted now, as you called out. They do send in the little Seeker there from Kalista. But TL just going to be able to start up the Baron here. When do Cloud9 find out, and when will they go for the fight? Remember, they're fighting into the Otacon GAs, which is quite difficult. Loki trying to maintain the push in mid is going to summon a tower up on that tier 1 from TL. TL now turning. CoreJJ flips in at Blaber, but Blaber is not actually caught by the seismic shove. There's the Cannon Barrage dropped as well. Not going to really be able to find much of anything. Impact also lost half his health. There's a hook onto Vulcan, and Zven's going to be the target of the ultimate. APA flashes forward and finds him with the seismic shove, and Zven is just gone. A huge play from APA. The public execution going to miss from Thanatos is back on the other side. It's Loki getting knocked down as well. Loki flashes out, but just to die to the ignite, and in goes APA with the Weaver's Wall, trying to find the seismic shove onto Blaber. Can't actually sidestep it. Stunned to the wall as well by Umti. That CC is deadly, and APA makes sure of it. hits him with the threaded volley to finish him off, and they're heading to Baron.
Really good textbook Otacon use from Team Liquid. Take all the vision around Baron, bring them over, and then go for the engage. Even though they use a lot of cooldowns early on, CoreJJ comes up with a huge hook into ultimate combo, and it's that ultimate that allowed APA to flash forward, get his seismic shove combo, and delete Zven. What a huge, huge move here from TL. And since they have the Otacon revivals, they know they can fully chase. They don't care if anybody gets their revival popped, and then they can go collect Baron in the aftermath. I mean, CoreJJ not giving up on that play after they used the Gangplank ultimate and a lot of cooldowns, honestly, in the opener, but still being able to go up, get a hook into Nautilus ult to ensure. When you have Otacon buff, you just want to force that fight.
Yeah.
And now they've got the rewards here with the Baron right back out onto the map. Dragon on the map here as well, and they should be able to just clean this thing up. I think Cloud9 are probably, you know, just to lick their wounds, say, hey, we'll wait for the soul. You know, you can have this one. We took a lot of losses from that last fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, the death cap now finally gets completed there for Loki, so that is something really working in their favor. But you look over, you know, at AD, it's an additional item completed. You look at top lane, it's an additional item completed, and that is very problematic. Nearly 2,000 gold lead in both bot and top for Yeon and Impact. They are looking strong, and Impact has that collector completed. This core hook is not going to connect onto Zven, but he has been really on point with these and willing to let them rip as they're going to look for a pick here onto Umti, but he is tanky and he has support with him. Blaber thinking maybe he caught him out, but not going to really find anything except the expended ultimate.
I like watching the mini-map on this game a lot too, because Impact, you'll see Impact, he's not even just perma-farming the side waves. He comes to hover really early on. As soon as the rest of TL, you see them move for deeper vision, then he comes to hover like halfway down. He doesn't care. He drops a few minions while they're pushing up on top side. Doesn't matter. He wants to be as close as possible and as safe as possible when TL are moving into the deeper areas of Cloud9's territory. And then after the danger has passed,
Oh, a little bit of a stutter there.
Yes.
APA looking for some damage over the wall here onto Vulcan as Impact is pushing up on top side here against Thanatos. Is going to be able to get some big damage down on that tower, and it looks like that one is already gone. That's 700 more gold in the pocket of Impact, who's already ahead. They knock down the tier 2 mid as well. Yeon grabbing the local gold there. Now they're taking away the jungle camps. Zven is getting poked out here. Yeon is looking so confident, just continuously move forward. Vulcan going to be going back to base, but do they look for the hard engage now? It's definitely going to be tough for C9 from this position. Nearly a 5,000, well, excuse me, now over a 5,000 gold lead after they grab those couple towers. And it's Soul Point as well, so Mountain Soul will make things incredibly difficult.
All right, so we got some answers as far as the Yeon celebration early. Now we're going to also have to do some investigation into what did Spawn do when he arrived here. Because this whole TL team, like, you know, we're getting chat right now for APA. He's actually been amazing on this Taliyah, but CoreJJ also, Yeon, of course. Umti's playing much better. Impact on his Gangplank. Like, this whole team looks like they are truly... And
Spawn buff is real. Spawn worker magic.
They are for sure.
It's got that special sauce.
They're so motivated. They have cleaned it up. Like, this team looks like they're on a whole nother level this time around. I mean, when you take some losses, you know, early on, and your back is put up against the wall here,
loses improve.
Looks like lose definitely is improved, at least for this game. But you mentioned some critical points still to come. We've got a little bit of a lull here until that Dragon Soul does come. 2.5 minutes. It's just going to sync up with our Baron nicely, and you know that's just guaranteed action then.
Yeah.
Baron and Soul, that's a handshake. We are going to get big action 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the future. Until then, it should look like TL side lane control.
Yeah.
So if you are Cloud9, is your angle like, hey, let's like try and force a pick, maybe we can burn someone's flash before that fight? Because that's where my head always goes to, is like, let's try and at least get somebody's flash.
Yeah.
And just like use ultimates only. Like, we make a pact among ourselves, no one's gonna flash, but we send like 4
pinky
people.
Promise.
Yeah, we pinky promise. None of us are gonna flash. We send 4 people. Everybody spam your ultimates out and try and get one of those longer cooldowns to set yourself up to, you know, with some sort of angle to win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so tough. If TL has first move to that dragon, you know, and they have all of these rocks getting thrown out, you know, from APA, the unraveled earth they're having to walk through, it feels so tough for them to make it happen. So we'll see if they can find any sort of a pick. You know, I think their game plan really got stalled out when Thanatos got so far behind. Because when I looked at this draft, I was thinking, okay, Thanatos plays through side, Vulcan's hovering him, you're looking for, 1v1 kills or 2v1 kills on Impact. But because Impact is 3k up, that plan kind of went out the window. And so a lot of their playmaking targets got a lot harder because it's just Impact by himself. He's way ahead, and everyone else from TL is kind of glued at the hip. They're walking around as this 4-man squad for most of the game.
All right. Holding on 1 more minute here. This setup. Usually at least by 45 seconds, you want to have all your control wards and be back over here. It looks like Cloud9 ahead of time. They're trying to shadow Loki as he pushes up the bottom wave. So they want bottom wave access into the Dragon. TL have guaranteed themselves mid-wave access into the Dragon. And now the standoff commences. 35 seconds on the clock. The map is dark for Cloud9. Umti makes a little sweep.
Yep, you can see that Thanatos is back mid lane, just cleared out that wave, and will be looking to join up with the team. We don't see exactly where Impact is, but likely playing around towards that mid lane, and he will be there pushing this out as Yeon's going to clear out that pink in the back of the pit. Blaber with the rest of the 4-man C9 squad here, but they're getting close to Core, and he has not been afraid to let those hooks go. Yeon is just playing around this corridor here, so it's very difficult to engage on him with everyone there behind him, with him having Cleanse, Flash, Valk. You can't overcommit onto him. And Thanatos now trying to find an angle on the side here, but Impact is there to answer that potential flank. C9 do have the push down in bot lane, but don't think it's going to be too relevant in this one. They just elect to start it. They're stacking up the spears in this. Core's going to hook in. There's the ulti onto Loki. Loki has to kite back, but in comes Umti, and there's a cannon barrage softening him up. In goes the public execution, but it connects on no one. Impact's in on everyone, and Umti gets a multi-man ulti, and Blaber is gone. Another's fallen as well, and they're piling in onto C9. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. He's going to surf in for another kill here onto Loki. The seismic shove connects on him, and he just pops the hourglass for style points. It's a triple kill. It's an ace. It's a march down mid lane, and it's looking like a TL game number 1.
TL have returned to you just in time. Their coordination in that team fight is better than we have seen from, I would say, any team fight this entire year from them. That was almost pixel perfect. The setup, the execution, and TL, they're going to take their rewards now.
They're knocking on the doors of the Nexus here. Vulcan respawns just in time to watch him knock it down. Tries to go for the ulti, but not in Core's house. Hits him with the hook, knocks down the Nexus. 1-0 TL off of a really strong start, and a great game from Umti. What a confidence builder.
Truly, truly. Wow, the focus from Team Liquid in this game. I mean, that last fight, again, CoreJJ, he goes for the hook on the front line, immediately into an ult on a backline carry, which gets layered with either a Gangplank ultimate or Skarner going in. It's like the precision that they're using to put all this pressure on those Cloud9 carries gave them really big rewards. Nice to see. Also liked the draft there, so well done, Mr. Coach.
Came in with a good plan, and they were able to execute it. Remember, though, tickets are still available for our LTA Finals block party connected by AT&T. That is tomorrow. Fans in Los Angeles can watch in person at the Riot Games Arena. The LTA Lounge will take center stage in front of fans, and after the show, enjoy a block party with games, team and partner booths, food, and more. Click on the QR code and grab your ticket to celebrate the first ever LTA Split 1 Finals in person. Now let's head on over to the lounge to break that one down.